I want to make a little comment about Twitter. Hey, everybody, this is Chuck Marone with Strong Towns. Um, we do communications at Strong Towns. We're sharing ideas. A lot of our local conversations, a lot of you out there share ideas as well. I want to point out something that has happened with Twitter because it's an important insight when you are thinking about communicating ideas. Twitter, now X as it's called, um, was a site that had a lot of problems, right? And I think we can go through like what many of those problems were. They're the problems that plague social media. But one of the problems they did not have was a gender split, right? They might have had more men than women there, but Twitter was not like a male space. Even look at the logo of Twitter. It was kind of a light blue little bird. It even became more, I'm going to use feminine as a way to describe it, but it became less masculine. It became more friendly and approachable over time as the logo itself actually evolved. I want to give you this insight from Strong Towns. I designed our first website. I designed our second website. I'm going to tell you something. I'm a guy. Not only am I a guy, I'm an engineering guy, right? Graphics are not my thing. I like text. I like links. I like efficient. My brain sometimes works like an engineer brain, which I remember using DOS back in the day, and I have no problem with writing prompts and stuff. It is interfaces is not my thing. As I work through templates to design our website, I created something that I thought was very, very nice, very, very appealing. And the people that I got feedback from said, "Oh yeah, this is very nice, Chuck." Rachel Quidnow, when she joined our team, made the comment to me that our site is not very inviting for women. And it bothered me because I thought, why isn't it inviting for women? It should be. Like, I'm not trying to exclude women. What do I need to do? And we had this back and forth conversation, and I was very, very frustrated by it because I didn't understand. Finally, she was able to show me, or I was able to open up my mind enough to actually grasp what she was getting at. And what she showed me were a number of sites that were not women's sites, right? But they were, in a sense, gender neutral sites. And I started to recognize how my own personal bias or my own personal way of presenting things worked for men, but was not working for women. And the amazing thing about what she showed me was that we could build websites that were not women's websites, but build websites that did not compromise any of the integrity of the message we were sharing or how we were sharing the message, didn't come off as like negative to men. Like, this wasn't a thing where we were going to like repel men now, but we could design websites that also, besides appealing to men, also appealed to women, that also were able to reach other people. And this kind of led me on this journey of trying to understand how my own personal biases, my own personal way of communicating gets in the way of sharing messages broadly. Our website right now today, we've tested it with all kinds of different groups, and it tests out really, really well. We won't do anything that scores really high with men and scores really low with women. Our sweet spot is it's got to score high with everybody, right? And I'm going some that's very possible to do. When I look at Twitter's branding and approach was very much that way, right? It didn't suggest male. It didn't suggest female. It kind of just suggested friendly to everybody. X as a brand, it screams tech bro. And you can not like Elon Musk. You can not like the site. You can be mad for all kinds of reasons, whatever. It screams tech bro, right? X. I mean, the logo, the way they have it, looks like it should be on a Stasi helmet back in World War, the Cold War, or it should be part of like a Gestapo kind of, uniform. It is very, very masculine, very kind of powerful, very kind of like pushing and in your face. It's a very tech bro, very male kind of positioning. As we communicate ideas through Strong Towns, and as people out there listening to us and sharing our ideas with others, communicate those ideas, we have to be disciplined and discipline ourselves to recognize our own biases and to work to reach audiences that aren't us. And a lot of times what that means is doing more listening than it does speaking, right? Doing more thinking than we do sharing and explaining. But it certainly means paying attention to the way people react to our stuff and being aware that what makes sense to us in our own echo chamber, our own bubble, will project very differently to people outside of that bubble. X and the rebranding of Twitter to X is an example of, I think, an echo chamber gone awry, right? And I'm still on Twitter. I still do things on Twitter. I just think that it is a space now that is very off-putting to a lot of people. And it's not necessarily Musk or the politics or like the feed, although you can complain about all those things. The brand itself just says to a lot of people, you're not welcome here. And if Nike did this or McDonald's did this or Coca-Cola did this, you would have the same reaction, right? It would be like, this is no longer for me. Look at all those successful brands, and they don't do that. They don't, unless they are trying to be a male-oriented thing or a female-oriented thing, they don't exude kind of a gender preference, right? They're just kind of there in a way that's inviting to everybody. When we think strong towns, that's what our brand needs to be. It needs to be there. It needs to be welcoming to everybody, inviting to everybody. Because if it's not, you won't even be able to get in the door and have a conversation.